Though French influence in the country of Haiti began in the mid-1600s, the independence achieved in 1804 by those brought from Africa as slaves was the spark needed that ignited the wildfire of a culture seen in this beautiful country today. The resiliency of the people matches the strength of the mountains as they reach for the heavens and hug the cities and villages below. Music sings and color dances in these bustling streets, whether they be made of concrete or dust.
While it was the first independent black nation in the Western Hemisphere, Haiti is also the poorest, a fact greatly reflected in its national penitentiary in the capital of Port-au-Prince. The Haitian prison and judicial system is extremely obscure, with official documents, files, and even historical records being really hard to find.
The National Penitentiary was built with a total of 778 cells and can comfortably hold approximately 1,200 detainees. Haitian law declares that there must be 3.4 meters of available space per person. As of my visit in October 2020, there are nearly 4,000 prisoners being held, with less than 40 centimeters of space per person. That's nearly 400% over capacity.
Of those being detained, only around 5% have actually been sentenced. The rest are being held in illegal pretrial detention for an average of 6 years. This is a major problem as Haitian law states that each person detained must wait a maximum of 48 hours before seeing a judge. In all of your experiences of visiting various prisons, especially this one, what would you say is the biggest need or the biggest problem?
For me, it is those prisoners suffering there before being judged.
Pretrial detention.
You're in jail. You spend 1 year, 2 years before being judged.
Before you even know why.
Yeah, before you even know why. You can spend 2 years in jail, and if you are judged, and they say, "Oh, you're innocent. You're not guilty.
You did all that for
You're
nothing."
out." Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many prisoners resort to bribes with the prison authorities when possible, yet most don't have the money to do so and can be stuck for almost a decade without given any reason why.
From my experiences, if you do not have money, you suffer the more. Like, when you're in there, they might say, "Oh, I need money to buy cigarettes," for example. You need to pay for that. You need to ask your family members to bring money, or they'll beat you every day.
Wow.
As seen in the documentary Haiti's Prison from Hell from Unreported World's British investigative journalist Cy Rhodes, 60 prisoners will be kept in a cell meant to hold a maximum of 18. Prisoners sometimes will sleep 4 or 5 to a bed, and there are no toilets, forcing them to use the bathrooms in tubs and bags that they dump out of the cell's only window, a barred strip at the top of the wall. Prisoners spend 22 to 23 hours a day inside the cells, and they're only allowed up to 2 hours of time in the outside courtyard. Clothing is scarce, with most walking around without anything but the clothes they were incarcerated with, if they were lucky.
In your experience as a regular visitor, how many people would you say was in each cell?
They are all everywhere so crowded. I've seen in a room of 6 by 8 meters, 37 prisoners.
Yikes.
It was super hot in there and crazy. Sometimes they do not have beds. They just lay on the floor and turn by turn. Sometimes their feet become swollen because they spent too much time
Standing up,
standing
there's
up.
nowhere to sit
There's
down.
nowhere to sit down. And
The road is barricaded right now, so we're trying to see how close we can get to the prison. We think we found a place to park. It's Friday, which means Visitors Day, so there's a chance that we might be able to go in. Turns out we're gonna have to go to an administration building in another part of town and get some papers, and then we'll be able to go in. We'll do that one day. We're back downtown. I just got official authorization to enter the prison. I want to see what conditions are like myself. I did I'm gonna need a second to process everything I saw and learned.
when you are a prisoner,
Yeah.
so you've seen that food. It's not the kind of food they would eat if they were not in prison, and they would fight for it because it's sometimes once per week, per day. I mean,
Around 80 pots.
yes, he said from 76 to 80 per day for 35, 40 prisoners.
I did that math, and that would mean that one pot, like maybe this big, would feed 43 at least prisoners.
When it's just one plate per day, that's not enough,
Yeah.
and it's not that cannot keep you like healthy
Yeah, it's all
at all.
just
No,
flour,
No, yeah.
butter, beans.
just beans and corns, not with nothing else. No meat, no.
So they're not getting any nutrition.
No.
Otherwise, what they maybe get from their families.
Yeah, that's why their family keep
Yeah.
on their families keep on how like in the level that they can try to take care of their family members like in this.
One of the areas I was able to see up close was the kitchen. Annual food funding was cut in 1999, and the daily food budget per prisoner has gone from a little over $2 to 40 cents. Prison gruel mainly consists of flour and water, and prisoners only get one meal a day, resulting in a daily intake of about 600 calories, instead of the usual 2,000 recommended for the average person. Malnutrition is just one of the physical health problems a prisoner faces. The infirmary is constantly packed, with as much as 500 inmates in care at a time. Lack of medicine and health care means that most easily cured illnesses can be terminal.
In my visit to the prison, the first thing I noticed was that there was no COVID precautions. Not once were we told to wear our masks, wash our hands, sanitize. To be honest, we've seen more precautions at a grocery store. After entering the first gate, the smell of sweat and urine was overwhelming. Every muscle I had was tensed up. We were frisked and then led to the warden's office, where we were able to talk with him about the conditions and what he's seen for an hour. Due to safety measures, the warden was only able to give us a bird's eye view of the prison, but did take us down to see some of the more common areas, such as the kitchen or admission cells, where recently arrested prisoners are awaiting placement.
I later realized I had gone into the prison looking for problems and scouting for violations. But then I was faced with the humanity of the warden and the prison personnel as well. They aren't necessarily contributing to the living conditions themselves. They're doing a job to the best of their abilities in a broken system that's out of their control.
That being said, it's hard to ignore the obvious violations these prisoners face on a daily basis. Rights to water, food, health, trial, and even life are being threatened or altogether unobserved. The death penalty was abolished in 1987, yet today, being arrested in Haiti is a death sentence in itself.
That's the biggest problem to me. See those people suffering for nothing.
During my visit, I saw families of the prisoners waiting outside with food, toiletries, and money for their loved ones incarcerated. Even though they most likely barely have enough for themselves, they give what they can. For generations, Haitians have come together to overcome. They climb those mountains, passing what they can through the bullet-ridden gates and barred windows, while filling the streets of Port-au-Prince with color and music. That strength is the beauty